Hello everybody, so welcome to part 5 of my CD collection. So in here I'm going to focus on the J's and the K's. So start off here with some Jimi Hendrix. So the first one here, this is called Gangster of Love, and this is basically a compilation of it's basically instrumental blues. This was before the Jimi Hendrix Experience. So yeah, he used to he was playing with other blues groups. So yeah, this is just instrumental blues. It's quite good actually. Yeah, it's a good listen. I think it's a bootleg though. Don't think it's official. It doesn't look to be official, but it's, I found it in a charity shop. But yeah, it's good if you're a Jimi Hendrix fan. And I have all of his studio albums. So I have Are You Experienced? Great debut album. This is the UK version. Because yeah, the American version had the more the fisheye lens cover, and yeah, it was more psychedelic. And track listing was different as well. The American version included Purple Haze and Hey Joe and Wink Raspberry, which were only singles in the UK. But yeah, that's the UK track lineup. But it does have bonus tracks, so it does include the 3 singles, and it also includes their B-sides as well, which also were not on either versions of the album. So yeah, that's really good. So yeah, fantastic album. And then Axis Bowler's Love, possibly my favourite Hendrix album. And then Electric Ladyland. So yeah, all 3 of them are great. And I have a couple more by Hendrix. So this one's called The Best Of and the Rest of Jimi Hendrix. So I think this is another bootleg compilation. So yeah, it's basically yeah, there's a few live recordings on here and some demos as well, I think. And yeah, he does a really good cover of Sunshine of Your Love, and he does Tomorrow Never Knows, which is a Beatles song. And yeah, listen to his version. It's completely different from the Beatles. It's it's drenched with guitar feedback sounds. It's weird but really good. And then this one's Cornerstones, 1967 to 1970. So yeah, this is a compilation. It's basically it's kind of half greatest hits. So the first half of it is basically some of his his hit songs, and then second half is basically live tracks and some rare tracks, so some posthumously released songs. So that's Jimi Hendrix. And then I have Jefferson Airplane. This is basically a compilation of Jefferson Airplane. And yeah, some great stuff on it. It's a 2 CD set. So yeah, it's basically the same. It's got the slipcase. And yeah, I think this is limited edition, but I was really lucky to find this in the charity shop. Really fantastic. I do love a bit of Jefferson Airplane. And I've got a few John Lennon CDs. So I have Imagine, it's a classic album. And I have a couple of compilations. This one's just called the John Lennon Collection. And what's really controversial about this compilation, that photo there, that album cover here, this photo was actually taken on the day that he was assassinated, so yeah, it's a bit controversial. And then I do have Lennon Legend, the very best of John Lennon. So yeah, the song selection on here is not much. It's a little bit different from this one, but not much. But I do want to get some more John Lennon solo stuff. I want Plastic Ono Band, Walls and Bridges, and Mind Games, the classics. And this one I have James Brown, the very best of James Brown, Sex Machine. Do love a bit of James Brown. Yeah, I mean, the only issue I have with this compilation, it doesn't include Roxanne. I really love that song. It's got I Got You, I Feel Good, which, I mean, that song never gets old. I mean, who doesn't know that song? You'd have to be living under a rock not to know that song. I mean, it's everywhere, and it's amazing. It's just truly amazing. And I have John Lee Hooker, Boogeyman. So this is just a compilation of John Lee Hooker. So yeah, I do like a bit of John Lee Hooker. And then the only artist I've got that begins with K, I have the Kinks. And yeah, my Kinks collection's building up quite nicely. So I've got Kinda Kinks. It's really good bonus tracks on here as well, which basically includes the the A-sides and B-sides of their singles, and some of their EP tracks as well. So yeah, these are really good remastered. They sound great as well, and I love the design on these CDs. You know, they look like they've got like a vinyl record design on them. And they've got Face to Face. This is the deluxe edition. 2 CDs, so it has the album in mono and the album in stereo, plus a load of bonus tracks. And then we have Something Else by the Kinks. And the Kinks are the Village Green Preservation Society. Like, to me, this is their Sgt. Pepper. It's a classic album, great concept. And then we have Arthur, or The Decline of the British Empire. So this is like a deluxe version. So the first disc is the Arthur album, and then the second disc is the Great Lost Dave Davis solo album, which I've not listened to yet, I've got to admit, but I will eventually. And you get bonus tracks on each one. And this one opens up like a book. You know, it's really nice packaging. And then I have this one's a twofer. This one's Lola versus Power Man and the Money Go Round Part 1. There's still no Part 2. They never did do a Part 2 to this. And it also has, the second disc is the soundtrack to the film Percy that they did. So yeah, you get 2 albums on there. The Percy soundtrack, I think it's all right. It's got some good tracks. But yeah, Lola vs. Power Man is a great album. You get loads of bonus tracks as well, you know, some like outtakes and demos. And then I have a compilation, the Kinks Ultimate Collection, 2 CDs. So I got this when I was just getting into the Kinks. So yeah, it's a very good career retrospect. I love how they've put the red and blue. So the first disc is red, the second one's blue, like the Beatles' red and blue albums, basically. So yeah, I do want to get some more Kinks. I want to get the debut album, and I want to get the Kinks Controversy, and possibly Muswell Hillbillies as well. Yeah, I do love the Kinks. You know, they're just superb. I think they are getting a lot more recognition these days. You know, a lot more than they have over the years. I mean, they've had recognition, but not as much as they deserve. But I think now they're getting more recognition. You know, they're getting just as much recognition as the Beatles and the Stones now, which I think is very good indeed. So I hope you enjoyed that, and in the next video I will be doing the L's and the M's. So stick around.